Hello, welcome to the Dollhouse. I am the doll, and I had some thoughts about telling people that you're participating in the 4B movement, or telling people that you are decentering men. I had some thoughts about this and why it's a bad idea. Number one, because what you do in your dating life and your romantic life is nobody's business except for whoever you're doing it with. And people might ask, well, you seeing anybody? Are you dating anybody special? Are you still want to have kids? Are you want to get married? You can just tell them, I'm going to go with the flow of life. I'm going with the flow of life. Just tell them that. It's none of their business. They won't understand. A lot of times it will give people ammunition to speak against you. Another reason to gossip about you. So just say, I'm on a spiritual path. I think I'm just more focused on myself right now. That's it. They're trying to hook you up with friends. This is just not the time for me for dating. And leave it at that. Continue to be a broken record and repeat the same thing over and over. Because telling people is resulting in a lot of backlash. From what I've seen online, even women are saying things like, this is not going to work. This movement is only going to last as long as the boycotts that you guys have been doing. They don't last long at all. There's always going to be somebody who is down to sleep with a man. This is not a collective movement for everyone. I don't see that 4B movement is for everyone. As a matter of fact, I just see it that it's for single women. It's for women who are single, because married women should act married. Okay? Married women should act married. So, and they may have already had children. And even some women who are practicing 4B now, they may have had children, but this is for single women. So, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. People won't understand. And another reason why people are giving backlash is because they're scared about, it's always fear. They're scared about how it may impact them. We see a lot of men coming out talking about, this is a victory for the red pill community, and also spazzing out like, well, what are you guys going to do? You're going to be alone. Women who've adopted the 4B movement are fine, totally fine with being alone. No one is saying that they're going to not work anymore. No one is saying that they won't appreciate the men who work as electricians and are mechanics, like men who build the world, quote unquote. Nobody's saying that these men won't get paid. Women are just saying that they don't want to seek out these fake relationships anymore, or even the real relationships that could lead to marriage and children. Some women have just opted out because it is a lot of work. They've had disappointment, and they don't want to run the risk of being distracted and depressed and heartbroken. If you've ever been heartbroken before, you can understand why a woman might decide to do the 4B movement. I talked to a friend earlier today who does not listen to advice and ended up calling a guy who she dumped a year ago because he wasn't very active. He wasn't very interested. He didn't keep consistency with trying to date her. So she kept talking to him for about a year. And then finally she dumped him. But then she goes back. It's like, eating a plate of fish, throwing it in the trash, and then going back in the trash, digging it out, and trying to take one last bite of fish. Honey, no. But she did. And he responded to her by saying, you know what, I'm just focusing on myself right now. I basically what I'm telling you to say about your 4B movement. Just tell people you're focused on yourself. So he 4B'd her. And she was devastated. She was devastated, feeling let down again by love. She said she had been trying to date for 20 years. And I totally understand. But baby, this movement will allow women to reset things for the younger generations. Women who are just opting out, giving up, not going to make strong efforts with men. It is smart. And, if a woman decides to date, she should still do it from the perspective of putting her divine energy first and moving forward in that direction. And not focusing on being a fake wife, being a girlfriend, being a homegirl, or laying down and having his babies, laying down to practice having his babies, laying down with the man, period. Women should really take it back to the old way, the old school, and like Tony Gaskin said, stay away from men for the most part. Date them in public. If you have to welcome them into your home, do it with chaperones. Only visit them when they have chaperones. Take yours with you. There's no reason at this point to put yourself at risk. I read so many stories, news articles about women who have put themselves at risk unnecessarily for men, putting their children at risk, having children with men that should not be fathers. The movement is really for women to safeguard themselves, because women are making stupid decisions with the men that they are choosing. And the men, they might even be good guys on paper, but they don't have to be good men romantically. They don't have to be good men romantically because women aren't making them. Women are saying, you know what, we'll date you in spite of it. And a lot of women are just giving up on that and saying, we don't want to date anymore. You can date however you like, sir. Follow the rules of the game however you want to play it. Play in other countries. You are free to do it. But what I'm going to tell the younger generations is to keep their legs closed and focus on cultivating beauty in their life, enjoying their life, independent of anyone else. Only tied to the divinity within, because tying your happiness and the beauty of your life to someone else, it is a huge risk, even when it's your children. And there's nothing wrong with having children. The risks have to weigh out, and the reward has to be greater than the risk. And if you're going to have them, the likelihood that you will have a solid relationship with the boyfriend after you have a child is slim. Slim like Snoop Dogg. So don't listen to me if you don't want to. But if you're one of the dolls and you're decentering men, or you are practicing the 4B movement, don't tell anybody. That's just a smart thing to do in my point of view. What's the point? People will not understand. They may take it the wrong way. They may consider it as a commentary on their decision making, the choices that they made, since they might be in an unhappy marriage or unhappily looking for a man to date, or having problems with being fit, feminine, and friendly, but still being totally single. So they may resent the fact that you are just opting out and being fat, masculine, and unfriendly, and being happy. They might take issue with that, with your choice. And, I'm just joking about the fat, unhappy, unfriendly, and unfeminine part. But, these days people equate femininity with a costume, or with hand gestures, or with a vocal inflection. Because at this point, that's all a person has to do in order to change into a woman, is to put on a dress and start prancing and speaking in a high-pitched tone. So if that's what femininity is, it's easily achievable. So losing femininity is just putting on some sweatpants and some tennis shoes then. So that being an unfeminine, unfit, you're unfit, you might be a little bit overweight, And you might be a businesswoman, so you're unfriendly. If you're not feminine because of those things, then it's better to opt out. If you're not desirable because of those things, then it's better to just do your own thing. And the likelihood is that somebody's still gonna want you, because you are still very valuable. And if you decide to date, it's your business. The 4B movement is a personal thing. It does not have to be a collective thing, and it doesn't have to be the same for every woman. It's really just a philosophy of, I'm not having sex with you and putting myself at risk of motherhood, or even I'm not getting emotionally tied up with you, and putting myself at risk of being distracted. I'm not getting tied up with you legally and putting myself at risk for loss of assets, like Mary J. Blige or Halle Berry. I'm not going to just be your homegirl and put myself at risk of wasting time to listen to your sob stories and nurse you through problems. So that is what women are saying with their own personal 4B movements. And from what I can sense, nobody's going to be able to stop it, because it's a personal decision that everyone can make for themselves. And nobody is entitled to your coochie. Keep the coochie closed. That's basically what this is saying. It's basically Christianity without the dogma. It's basically Islam without the dogma, without the oppressive doctrines. It's basically those same principles of wait until a man is worthy. And if no man is worthwhile ever, stay to yourself, cultivate yourself, enjoy your world, look around and be grateful for the blessings in it. It's as if people don't want women in the 4B movement to be grateful for the blessings that they have, independent of anyone else. They want you to be miserable. Oh, you're going to be alone and lonely. No. What women, we do not have the same fate as single men. We don't have the same world experience. So men can choose to live however they want. They are going their own way. Women, we are going our own way as well. Women going their own way. And that's just, we're going, doing our own thing, independent of what anyone else thinks or has to say. So, don't tell them. Keep it to yourself. Keep it in the closet, like Michael Jackson used to say. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm glad that you're here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 1,000 followers so that way I can really ramp up the content. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.